Today I'm going to solve activity 7.13, which is based on the same algorithm which was used in activity 7.12. As you can see this flowchart was used in 7.12 also, and this is the same flowchart that is being used in 7.13 also. There are three variables that are which are initially declared in the memory. One is variable A, second one is variable B, and the third one is variable C. They are initially assigned values of 0, 0 and 100. Then a random input is taken from the user. This input is first compared with variable B. If it is greater than variable B, then it is assigned to variable B. And if it is, then it is compared with variable C. If it is less than the value given in variable C, then this new value is assigned to variable C, and A is actually being used as a counter in this algorithm, and this algorithm will iterate or repeat for 10 times starting from 0 ending at 9. Therefore, so user will be allowed to give 10 numbers. Those 10 numbers that will be given by the user will be compared with these two variables, and in the end the highest and lowest variables will be shown to the user on screen. Explain it to you with the help of an example. um, this is suppose this is your hard disk. In that hard disk, variable A will be used as a counter. Variable B is used to store the largest values. Variable C is used to store the smallest values, and variable X is used to store the inputs that are being given by the users. In the beginning, at the start, the programmer is giving them a starting value of 0 in the memory. Starting value of B is 0 is given to B in the memory, and a starting value of 100 is being given to C in the beginning. But X is left empty for the user to enter any value. First of all, the user gives the value of 4. This 4 will be compared with this value of B first. If it will be greater than B, then the greater value will be stored in this B now. So because B is storing largest values, then this 4 will be compared with this 100. If it will be less than this 100, then the new value of C will also change. It will also become 4, and the counter will be incremented from 0 to 1. In the second repetition, user is giving a value of 8. This 8 will be compared with this previous 4. If it will be greater than previous 4, then the new value of P will become 8. If it will be less than this previous 4 of C, then the new value of C will also change. But this time the value of C is continuing. And in the second iteration, the value of counter will increment from 1 to 2. In the same way, B will keep on storing the largest values, and C will keep on storing the smallest values. The counter will keep on incrementing till 9, because it's iterating from 0 to 9. It will iterate or repeat for 10 times. And X will keep on storing inputs given by the user. Now let's move on to the answer. Now this is the trace table for the same example. As you can see that the starting values of A, B and C are 0, 0 and 100. And a user is given this 10 as an output, that you are supposed to enter only 10 values. Now the user is giving the first value of 4. If 4 will be, this 4 will be compared with this 0. If it is greater than 0, then this will be stored in B. The new value of B will now become 4, because B is storing the largest values. Now this 4 is being compared with this 100. If it is lesser than 100, the new value of C will also change, and now the new value of C has become 4, because C is storing the smallest values. the counter will be incremented from 0 to 1 because A is only being used as a counter. Now the user has given a new value of 8. This 8 will be compared with the previous largest value of 4. If this 8 will be greater than 4, then the new value of B will now become 8, and because B is storing the largest values, and this 8 is now compared with the previous smallest value of 4. If 8 will be lesser than 4, but then the new value of C will also change because C is storing the smallest values. But as you can see, 8 is not lesser than 4, so the new value of C will also not change, but the counter will be incremented from 1 to 2. User will be given one more chance to give one more number. User is giving this new number of 19. This 19 will be compared with the previous largest value of 8. Yes, 19 is greater than 8, and as B is storing largest numbers, so the new value will of 19 will be assigned to B, and the value of B will now change. And this 19 will also be compared with the previous smallest value of 4 because C is storing the smallest values, but it is not lesser than 4, so this value of C will not change. Now the user is given another chance to give the value of 17. This 17 will be compared with this previous 19, but it is not greater than 19, so the value of B will not change, and it is also not lesser than this 4, so the value of C will also not change, but the value of counter will increase from 3 to 4. Now the user is given another chance to give one more value. Suppose the user is giving the value of 3. This 3 will be compared with 19, but it is not greater than 19. So the new value of B will not change. But this 3 will be compared with this previous 4. Yes, it is lesser than 4. So the new value of C will change, and because C is storing smallest values, and the new value of C will become 3, and the counter will also increment from 4 to 5. Now the user has given another value of 11. This 11 will be compared with previous largest value of 19. It is not greater than 19, so the value of B will not change, and it is also not less than 3. So the value of C will also not change, but the value of counter will increment from 5 to 6. Now user is again given a chance to give one more value. The user is giving the value of 6. This 6 is compared with the previous largest value of 19 because B is storing the largest values, but it is not greater than 19, and it will then be compared with C, which is storing the smallest values. 6 is not less than 3, so the values of B and C will not change, but the value of counter will increase from 6 to 7. Now the user is again given a chance to give one more value. The user is giving the value of 1. This one will be compared with the previous highest value of 19. 1 is not greater than 19, so the value of B will not change. And this one will be compared with the previous smallest value of 3. 1 is less than 3, so the new value of C will now become 1. And the counter will also increment to 8. Now let's move on. Now the user is again given a chance to give one more value, and the user is giving a value of 13. This 13 will be compared with the previous highest value of 19, but it is not greater than 19, so the value of B will not change, and it is either not smaller than 1. So the previous value of C will also not change, but the value of counter has now become 9. The user is given one last final chance to enter one more number. The user is giving the number 9. 9 will be compared with the previous highest value of 19, which as you know that 9 is not greater than 19, so the value of b will also not change, and 9 is not less than 1, so the previous value of c will also not change, but the counter will increment from 9 till 10. And as the algorithm was only supposed to repeat or iterate for 10 times. So the loop will finish and the user will be displayed the value, the highest and the lowest values. As you can see, 19 is the highest value. This 19 will be displayed to the user on screen, and as you can see that 1 is the lowest value. So this one will be shown to the user as the lowest value on the screen. So this was activity 7.13. Next time I will solve activity 7.14. Please like and share this video. Thank you.